What up? What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J, and this is the Mo You Know. Hey, shout out to Kid Gravity. Hey, definitely hit me up. I'm about to be live streaming over here. We finally reached 1,000 subscribers on this channel. We really wasn't pushing it like we were supposed to, but here we are. What is this? 2-3 years later? I think we started this in 2023. Took us a longer time than we thought, but hey, man, it is what it is. Today, we're just going to be going over a few things. I know that I just seen Jeffries and the Democrats, they're going to be making a news conference today about the government shutdown. Also, I have a memo speaking on the government shutdown as far as it goes here in Germany. We'll talk about that. We'll go over a few things and we'll see where the night leads us. I also want to talk about Argentina. We're going to go and dispel some of the rumors and myths that are out there, speaking about the health insurance and why the Democrats are actually doing the government shutdown. Again, I don't care which side you're on, Republican or Democrat. All I'm going to do is give you the facts. You know what I mean? I have my beliefs. I won't say that I'm a Democrat or a Republican or independent. Me personally, I just live life. I really don't give a damn. But we'll talk about that, and I give you guys a perspective from my side. We unfortunately did lose a guy today. Well, we didn't lose him. He's furloughed. So me, I'm an accepted member. He's a furloughed member, meaning I got to go to work, but I don't get paid. He doesn't go to work, and he doesn't get paid. So in a sense, it's kind of like he's on a vacation. But if there are cuts, more than likely the furlough employees will be the first ones gone. So we did lose him today. He came in. He was only supposed to work 4 hours, but he ended up working like 7. So I got to worry about that behind the scenes. I'm, contacting people tomorrow. But we'll talk about that. And as of right now, I do have a job. I'm just not getting paid. So I will get this next check. And then the check after that, I won't get. So that's just how that'll be. And this next check, it won't be 3 days on there. The first, second, and the third won't be on my next check. So right now I'm just working, you know what I'm saying? UPS, underpaid slave. You feel me? But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We did reach 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys. I do want to do more lives on here. Kid Gravity said we're going to work. What up, Eric? So I guess we'll start off just with the memo that I have, because I didn't know that they were going to be doing the Democrats holding a conference today. So I want to play that. But what I want to do is read the memo first that we were received we received today, and speak about it from my perspective. Let me see where we at. All right. All right. So today we received a memo basically giving us an overview over what's happening during this shutdown. Of course, no one had any guidance because it's just popped up. And if you know about this shutdown, it's been lingering around since October of last year. It got pushed. It got pushed into February. It got pushed into April. It got pushed into July. Now it's pushed into October. And what they're trying to do is a continuing resolution, basically saying whatever we already have set in place, we're going to continue to do that till November 21st. And then they would be where we're at. The only problem with this government shutdown is we're still moving off of money from the year prior. So the fiscal year is October 1st, September 30th going into October 1st. And then that's where you make the budget for the whole next year. The only problem is when you continue to push these bills back further and further, the budget gets pushed back further and further. So it's kind of, there's already an allotted amount of money, but there's kind of a confusion of where this money is going to go. And this is where they're trying to give the tax breaks, cut the health care, and give to the illegal aliens or immigrants, however you want to put it. But that's not the truth. So we'll go over the memo right now. Let me see. Of course, you know, I had to redact a few things just because I don't need y'all knowing where I work so they could call in there. Man, we got to fire this nigga Mo. Nigga, fuck you. All right. All right, so here we go. Department of the Army, they sent this out this morning to us. September 30th, it was yesterday. But of course, you know, this is just a template that they received from stateside yesterday, but they sent it out to us. Obviously, I got my unit and everything redacted, a message to what team I'm on. It says, we are honored to serve alongside the incredible soldiers, the Department of Army civilians and foreign national team members that support our operations throughout Europe and Africa. As we support our nation as a part of the user, UCOM, AFRICOM, and NATO, CSM Mave and I are both extremely proud to serve with and lead this team. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service, and a special thanks to your families as they provide incredible support structure that allows you and our team to be at its best. Nah, I ain't gonna get fired. I know who I can and can talk shit about. And I don't talk shit about my leadership. All right.
Has been engaging in irresponsible and
shit. Hold on. We're gonna cancel this. We're gonna cancel this. We're gonna go into the what the Democrats are talking about real quick. Hakeem Jeffries is up here. Yeah, we'll cancel that. We'll cancel that. And let me see something. This is live right now, so we might as well get this while it's going on. All right, so Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats, they're holding a press conference to actually talk about what went on with Donald Trump and what's the movement going forward. Again, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or independent. We're just here. We're trying to get the facts because at the end of the day, it's all affecting our pockets. So let's jump into this.
Has been engaging in irresponsible and unserious behavior, demonstrating that all along Republicans wanted to shut the government down. That's no surprise, because for decades, Republicans have consistently shut the government down as part of their efforts to try to extract and jam their extreme right-wing agenda down the throats of the American people. Democrats have repeatedly made clear we are ready to sit down with anyone at any time and at any place in order now to reopen the government, to enact a spending agreement that meets the needs of the American people, and to address the devastating Republican healthcare crisis that has caused extraordinary harm on people all across the country, in rural America, working class America, urban America, small town America, the heartland of America, and Black and brown communities throughout America.
Now, real quick, what I want to point out, agree, that there wasn't a government shutdown under Joe Biden. I know everyone calls him Sleepy Joe. You have your feelings about old Joe Biden. Yeah, it is what it is. But there was no government shutdown up under Biden because he actually sat with everyone. Now, we know that Trump told Speaker Mike Johnson not to do any negotiations with the Democrats, which is why we have a shutdown now. But we also have the last government shutdown, which was up under Donald Trump, was the longest in more than 40 years. Here's all the recent shutdowns in one chart. Now, let me see. The longest shutdown that we had was December 22nd, 2018 to January 25th, 2019. Up under who? A Republican, 35 days. There was a shutdown up under Obama. There was another one up under Trump just for 2 days, 16 days. Bill Clinton had 21. But look what it was up under, a Republican Congress. So the 21-day shutdown was because, the Republicans. Then this Democrat one was up under Donald Trump. So every time Donald Trump gets in here, he's trying to sweep some shit up under the rug that you ain't going to see. But just like cartoons, there's a little pile that you can't find.
The Republican healthcare crisis is devastating, the likes of which no one has ever seen. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. A possible $536 billion cut to Medicare because of the one big ugly bill, if Congress doesn't act by the end of the year. Tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased premium, co-pays, and deductibles because of the Republican unwillingness to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health clinics are closing all across the country, including in rural America, because of what Republicans have done and the healthcare crisis they have triggered through their cruel actions throughout this year. Republicans have even canceled medical research in the United States of America, even as it relates to children who are battling cancer. The Republican healthcare crisis is immoral.
Now, they keep talking about healthcare being cut. What he's speaking about right now, and we're doing all of this live because, hey, I be doing my own little research. Federal funding cuts, pediatric brain cancer research, taking away hope from families. This is September 20th, 10 days ago. 10 days ago, they cut, not the Democrats, not the House of Republicans, not the Senate. Donald Trump went and cut federal funding to pediatric brain cancer. But they're trying to tell you that the Democrats are trying to give illegal aliens and stop health care. When we see it right here, 10 days ago, there was a federal cut to brain cancer in children. So we'll just be following this along and we'll be pointing out the facts. This is also on PBS News, who has been defunded by who else? Oh, yeah, there was a federal cut. Now, they were trying to get federal funding back to PBS. And the reason PBS needs federal funding is because it's for those that don't have cable. Basic cable, you can watch PBS and still get informative information. But Donald Trump and them cut that because PBS provides the truth. So that's another federal funding cut that they're trying to get back. Now, it's not as important as the health care, the Medicaid and Medicare, and then Obamacare, which Donald Trump continues to call a scam, which isn't a scam. That's why you have 17 to 20 million, some say 14 to 18 million people on it. But they're not trying to cut it, and they're not trying to give health care to illegal immigrants. What they're trying to do is give the health care back to the American citizens and to immigrants that have legal status, not illegals, legal status. Plus, you can't even go to a hospital and get health care without ID. So how can an undocumented person go to the hospital and get medical care if they're undocumented? Kind of makes you wonder, huh?
In nature. And Democrats are fighting hard to reverse it. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care on behalf of the American people. It's now my honor to yield To the whip, Catherine Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. We are so grateful for all that you have done and putting the American people's voice into this debate. And I've had one question from my Republican House colleagues this week. Where the heck are you? Where the heck are you? You've cut people's health care. You're giving their hard-earned tax dollars to billionaires in the form of tax breaks. And then you don't even show up to defend your own policies, your own bills. Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise are both from Louisiana. Most children in Louisiana are on Medicaid.
Now, what she's speaking about is yesterday, prior to the shutdown, what you have here is the House Democrats full attendance showing up because they did want to talk and try to get this solved before the shutdown. But of course, Donald Trump told Mike Johnson told all of the Republicans not to show up. So we're just going to fact check and prove all of this that's happening live and direct. Again, I don't care which side of the aisle you're on.
64% of all births in Louisiana are paid for by Medicaid. 74% of nursing home residents in Louisiana are on Medicaid. Yet Republicans are willing to shut down government, refusing to even show up for work this week because they want to cut Medicaid by $1 trillion, because they want to defund healthcare for children and seniors and pregnant women, because they want to pay for billionaire tax cuts. Well, Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise can fight for the billionaires. They can double down, if they so choose, on their lie about who we're fighting for. But we know who we're fighting for, and so do the American people. Democrats are fighting for families, families in Louisiana, families in Massachusetts. We're fighting for American families in every corner of this country. We're fighting for a child's right to go to the doctor, fighting for a new mom's right to have a safe delivery. We're fighting to keep millions of people from losing their insurance and keeping health premiums affordable for everybody. We're here to do our job. It is long past time that Republicans join us and end this Republican shutdown. It's now my great pleasure to yield the microphone to our chairman, Pete Aguilar.
All right, Pete.
Thank you.
Tell us something
Thank
we
you,
don't
Whip
know,
Clark.
Pete.
And as we're fighting, Republicans are nowhere to be seen. Our message has been very clear. Cancel your vacation, cancel the cuts, lower the cost, fix healthcare. That's why we're here. Donald Trump and House Republicans have shown their true colors this week. Instead of protecting healthcare, they're ripping it away. 15 million people at risk of losing their healthcare coverage. And while we're here trying to keep the government open, the guidance from our colleagues on the other side, Lisa McClain, my counterpart, the chair of the Republican conference, instructs their members, don't talk about healthcare. That is their message. So while we're fighting for healthcare, we're fighting to keep this government open. The guidance from the GOP has been very clear. Don't talk about these issues because they know the American people are with us. Democrats have been at the negotiating table for months, and we want to work in a bipartisan way. We've always wanted to work in a bipartisan way to solve these issues. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. They own this crisis. They own this shutdown. And instead, they want to use people as political pawns. Russ Vought wants to lay people off. He wants to fire people. He wants to use this shutdown to carry out the agenda that he has wanted all along. It's shameful and it's wrong. Republicans will do everything in our power to fix this Republican mess, to provide health care to people and to ensure that the American people aren't left out in the cold, because it's the
All right. So what he's talking about is right here. Like I said, we fact checking everything. Make sure they aren't lying to us. Here's Donald Trump, September 30th.
During the shutdown that are irreversible. We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like. And you all know Russell Vought. He's become very popular recently because he can trim the budget to a level that you couldn't do any other way. So they're taking a risk by having a shutdown because of the shutdown, we can do things medically and other ways, including benefits. We can cut large numbers of people out. We don't want to do that, but we don't want fraud, waste, and abuse. And, we're cutting that.
So it's not just made up that Donald Trump said that he wants to fire people and cut people during the actual shutdown. So everything that they're talking about, oh, the Democrats want to do this, but we hear Donald Trump clearly saying he wants to cut people, fire people, irreversible damages from the shutdown.
the right thing to do.
So right now, the Democrats are 4 for 4, and we fact checked everything that they said so far. So that's good.
Leader Jeffries.
Pete, questions?
Thank you very much, Mr. Leader. Two quick questions for you. One, I want to get your reaction to Russ Vought announcing this $18 billion hold on infrastructure projects in New York City. Do you think you're personally being targeted?
The Trump administration is targeting the jobs, thousands of jobs of hard-working Americans, working-class Americans, and blue-collar Americans who are going to lose the ability to work at the 2nd Avenue subway site or at the other project that has been canceled related to the Cross Harbor Tunnel. That's consistent with what the Trump administration has consistently done throughout their time in office. Lose jobs, cause economic pain and hardship for the American people. Is shameful, but it's very consistent with the Trump administration's track record of failing on the economy and targeting working class Americans.
And then just one quick follow-up, just what's happening on the Senate side. It seems there have been some bipartisan discussions on the Senate floor where they may be discussing some type of short-term CR and trying to buy a little bit more time to work through some of these issues like the ACA. Have you been briefed on those discussions?
So trying to do the continued resolution, they're trying to push it back to November 21st, but they're not even showing up to vote on it. So you want to continue to do this. Basically, that's a stalling tactic. That's all they're doing is stalling, because they don't really have any counters, because they know that they're getting called out on everything. And we've heard them say, don't mention healthcare. We also seen there's a clip of Mike Johnson talking yesterday saying, if the Republicans don't win the midterms, there's going to be an impeachment. So really all they're doing is worrying about trying not to get the Epstein files released, because there's a Democrat that's supposed to be sworn in, which would give them the 215 votes, plus the 3 Republicans that switched over to help out to force a vote on releasing the Epstein files. They're trying to stall on swearing her in. They're trying to stall on this continued resolution because they're getting called out on every single thing that they put in there, which is potentially going to spike up healthcare. Now, remember, your healthcare is going to spike up. If you make under $30,000 with this new bill that they have, the big, beautiful bill, which we call big, beautiful bullshit, it's going to spike your insurance up, your premiums up to 75% if you make under 30,000. If you make under 90,000, it was going to jump your premiums up to 50%. So all of this is fact, and all of this is in actual bill that the Republicans put out. So they're trying to stall now because eventually it's going to start showing. Now, there's a lot of hospitals in rural areas that have been getting shut down, and they actually brought that to Donald Trump yesterday in the meeting prior to the shutdown. But yeah, Caitlin Collins, there you go. Gravity know what I'm talking about.
Do you support what's happening in the other chamber?
Haven't had a conversation with Leader Schumer about any developments on the Senate floor, but House Democrats and Senate Democrats remain consistent and in lockstep in defense of the health care of the American people, and that's not going to change.
Leader Jeffries. Good afternoon. Jared Golden, as you know, was the only Democrat on your side of the aisle who voted for the original CR. He just put out a statement, said that the Democratic opposition to that was, quote, driven by the demands of hardball politics, driven by left-wing groups.
What up,
to make a
Glory?
show of
What up, Made Me
opposition
Fleet?
to President Trump. That's a pretty harsh statement from one of your own members. You refute that?
House Democrats have consistently made clear that we will sit down with anyone at any time and any place to enter into a bipartisan agreement that makes life better for the American people. We will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of everyday Americans. Health care is not a partisan issue. It's not a partisan issue. It's an American issue. And when you strip away health care from everyday Americans, that impacts Democrats, independents, and Republicans alike. When you strip away health care from the American people, as Republicans have done and want to continue to do, you're impacting people in rural America, in urban America, in the heartland of America, from coast to coast, and all points in between. This is not a partisan issue. Defending access to health care that's affordable, standing up for hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health clinics, that's not partisan. That's as American as baseball, motherhood, and apple pie.
But you must disagree with Mr. Golden here.
Question?
Mr. Leader,
Oh, my
so
apple
Russ
pie.
Vogt,
What up,
just
Courtney
with the
J?
House Republicans on a call, says that these firings are likely to start within the next 48 hours. Also said that WIC is going to run out of money within the next week. And he just posted that $8 billion of green energy will actually be cut immediately. And it's going to affect 16 states, all of them which have either Democratic leaders or Democratic majorities in their state houses or Senate. What's your response to that?
These are all
Feeling
things
the
that
pressure?
these are all things that the Trump administration has been doing since January 20th. The mass firings of federal workers, Trump administration has been engaging in this since January 20th. Targeting the clean energy economy, Republicans have been doing that since January 20th and assaulted the clean energy economy and the creation of good paying American jobs in their one big ugly bill. Trump administration has been killing jobs. This is a job killing administration. Job creation is down, but you know what's up? Costs. They promised to lower costs on day one. Costs aren't going down, costs are going up. Inflation is going up under the Trump administration. And one of the reasons why Democrats are fighting hard at this moment is because unless we extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, more than 20 million Americans in a matter of days are about to experience the reality of dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles. Many of them will experience medical bankruptcy as a result. That's why Democrats are fighting hard on behalf of everyday Americans.
All right. So what we hear, they're talking about the federal cuts that are coming along. Now, this is what Speaker Mike Johnson said yesterday. Where's it at? Let me see.
We won't have FEMA funded, right? We've got hurricane season. We got 2 off the coast of the United States right now. FEMA services not funded. Telemedicine, mental health services, all these things that the American people need and they won't be able to access if the Democrats go through with this. So I certainly pray they don't. They have another chance because Leader Thune's going to put the House bill on the Senate floor again tomorrow and probably again on Wednesday. And we'll see if Chuck Schumer goes along with this.
All right. So what we just heard from Speaker Mike Johnson is saying what the Democrats are doing right now, they're going to cut federal funding from different programs. FEMA, you know, it is hurricane season from August to at least November, December, our time frame almost. Like King said, there's 2 hurricanes off of the coast. And, you know, I like to track the hurricanes. We did a couple of them last year. But he just said that FEMA.
We won't have FEMA funded, right?
We won't have FEMA funded, but the thing is, This guy,
We want to wean off of FEMA, and we want to bring it down to the state level, a little bit like.
wait, I thought FEMA wasn't going to be funded, but Donald Trump says he doesn't want to fund FEMA anyway. This is back in June. Donald Trump himself said they don't want to fund FEMA. They want to make the states responsible for it. So how is it going to be funded in the bill when the president himself said he doesn't want it in the bill? He doesn't want to fund it at all. There we go. The Democrats are 6 for 6 on telling the truth, while the Republicans continue to lie and lie and lie. Because it seems like everything that Donald Trump says, people have to go behind him and try to correct that. But himself, he says,
We want to wean off of FEMA, and we want to bring it down to the state level. A little bit like education, we're moving it back to the states so the governors can handle it. That's why they're governors now. If they can't handle it, they shouldn't be governor. But these governors can handle it, and they'll work in conjunction with other governors. They'll give each other a hand. But the FEMA thing has not been a very successful experiment. Very, very expensive, and it doesn't get the job done. You saw what happened in North Carolina under the past administration. And when we got in, we did a great job for North Carolina, brought it back, but it was a disaster, FEMA. And it has not worked out well. It's extremely expensive. And again, when you have a tornado or a hurricane, or you have a problem of any kind in a state, that's what you have governors for. They're supposed to fix those problems. And it's much more local, and they'll develop a system, and I think it'll be a great system. And also when it comes to forest fires. So for years, I've been meeting with heads of other countries, and they are forest countries. They call themselves forest, Austria and others. And they say, we're a forest nation. We live in a forest, and they don't have forest fires. And in one case, he said, our trees are much more flammable than California, but we don't have forest fires because we clean the floor, we sweep the floor of leaves, of dead.
That's Donald Trump, guys. He's going to ramble about a lot of bullshit that ain't got nothing to do with anything. But back in June, he said, get rid of FEMA, let the states take care of it. States and federal funding are two different things. But Mega Mike Johnson,
we won't have FEMA funded, right? We've got hurricane season. We got 2 off the coast of the United States right now. FEMA.
I thought the states were going to take care of that, per Donald Trump. Who knows?
I'll yield to Catherine to talk about the WIC issue. But in every other shutdown that Republicans have caused, including in the 35-day shutdown that Donald Trump presided over in 2018 and 2019, funding for women, infants, and children, their health, their nutrition, and their well-being was maintained. It was maintained in every other shutdown. The reason why the Trump administration is threatening now to cut funding for women, infants, and children is because they can't stand that program. They're on the side of their billionaire buddies. They've been running the largest pay-to-play scheme in American history. And Exhibit A of that was their one big ugly bill, which is now law. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. And they stole food from the mouths of hungry children, women, veterans, and seniors, and all of this was done to provide massive tax breaks to their billionaire donors. We're fighting for the health care of the American people. They're fighting for their billionaire donors, their friends and family plan, which has been all about enriching the lifestyles of the rich and shameless from the very beginning of the Trump administration. So all this talk that we see right now, as if it has anything to do with the shutdown that Republicans have caused, no, it's their ideology. Cruelty is the point when it comes to the Republican Party.
They're probably going to talk about WIC.
Are they really expecting us to believe that the strategy that they are employing, that they're already making life in this country for working Americans harder and more expensive, that the answer is you shut down government and make life harder and more expensive? That is insane. But that is the argument that they're putting out there. And we just have to base this in reality and facts. They want to talk now about the WIC program. You want to talk now about pregnant women and newborns when 40% of births in this country are covered by Medicaid. They want to say to pregnant women who in a third of the counties, because of their policies, no longer have access to OBGYNs.
Now let's take another look at this. The Center of Budget and Policy Priorities. Trump's budget would slash WIC fruit and vegetable benefits for millions. For more than 25 years, presidents and Congress of both parties adhered to the commitment to provide enough funding for the WIC program. Where's it at? Yet President Trump's fiscal year 2026 budget would cut WIC funding, leaving insufficient to provide all anticipated participants with full benefits. The budget calls for sharply reducing the fruit and vegetable component of WIC's food benefits for the new and expecting parents, young children, which we estimate will take away more than $1.3 billion in fruit and vegetable benefits from 5.2 million participants. Now, this is actually coming from the bill, the big, beautiful bill that was passed into law. Now they're talking about this won't be funded. They're talking about the Democrats are trying to take food out of young kids' mouths and mothers. No, they're actually trying to stop that from happening, which you guys put in the bill that is now a law. And that's why they're trying to change this up. So there we go. The Democrats are 7 for 7 on their talking points, and they're spitting facts because we have all the proof that shows that the Trump administration has been doing this for the last 9 months, 10 months, making it today.
No longer have access to safe prenatal care and delivery. Now we care about you. Women of America understand exactly how they feel about us and our children. The moms that I've been talking to are so scared they may not be able to get the Medicaid funding they need. We heard from Teresa yesterday, who talked about her 2 autistic sons. She's a single mom. She had to quit her job in order to care for them full time. Without Medicaid, she has no idea what she will do. And these stories are repeated over and over in my own district. A young adult named Sydney, her mom wrote to me and said she has such profound disabilities, but Medicaid is connecting her to the world through cochlear implants, through medication, for medication that she needs not only to survive, but to have some connection, which she has found through what she has been.
All right, man, we need to get to policies, man. We ain't about to be listening to personal stories.
90s and what happened in 2018 and 2019. We're not interested in achieving any political result here. What we're interested in achieving is a substantive result to defend the health care of the American people. Catherine, please.
Yeah, I sort of want to go back to this question.
All right, hey, we're gonna end that press conference there. We're not about to keep going back and forth with the tag team in the conference. You know what I mean? All right. So pretty much what we did was a little bit of fact checking there. What the Democrats were talking about, there's actual proof that the Republicans are the ones doing all of the slashing, stopping the health care, the Medicaid, Medicare, all of that. So we know that for sure. And we did a little fact checking. So we'll go into the memo that I have for the shutdown. That's just a little press conference that they have there. This shutdown, in my personal opinion, is probably going to last, I'm saying anywhere between 10, I want to say 10 and 15, but I'm looking at this probably going to be more of a 15 to 20 day shutdown. So pretty much the month of October, 3/4 of October, we're probably going to be shut down, to be honest. So that means I'll be working. I'll have 2 checks that I'm working without getting paid. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, I signed up for it to come overseas. So, you know, I ain't really complaining because I'm blessed enough to be in a position that I can weather the storm. But there are people that not getting paid 2 checks, even 1 check is going to hurt them. My only issue with the whole thing is with the health care, because it is open season, and I'm not trying to buy any new health care until I figure out what the hell they're actually doing. You know what I mean? Bet they come back on October 7th. Hopefully hopefully, the sooner the better, to be honest. I mean, I'm like, I look at it as long as the shutdown is going on, that's just more money that's going to pile up for me. So, I mean, like I said, I'll make it through October. I won't be able to take a trip next weekend. I was supposed to go to Turkey. Next weekend, I was supposed to go to Turkey, but I'm not going to go now just because I don't know what's happening. If it is like a month long, that'd be 2 more checks I don't get. I mean, I'll be all right, but still, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. All right. But now we're going to go over the memo. We're going to finish the memo that I got so you guys can see how it is from a federal standpoint over here in Germany. So we'll go through that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll do that. Also, we're going to talk about, before I get out of here, I do want to talk about Argentina. I haven't done a deep dive on that. I just know that $20 billion is going down there, and there's actually a new deal with Qatar where we're supposed to give them like NATO type protection or something. It just popped up today. It's all kinds of stuff. Argentina's backdoor in America. It's all kinds of messed up. But all right, we're gonna do the memo now. Oh boy. But yeah, whenever they need to get this damn shutdown and get it over with. All right, here we go. Get this thing. All right, this comes from the Department of the Army. You know, I had to redact a few things. It says a message to the team. This is from September 30th, yesterday. We got it today. We are honored to serve alongside the incredible soldiers, Department of Army civilians, foreign national team members that support our operations throughout Europe and Africa. We support our nation as a part of the user. UCOM, AFRICOM, and NATO. CSM, Malve, and I are both extremely proud to serve with and lead this team. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service. Thank you to your families as they provide incredible support structure that allows us and our team to be at its best. As I'm sure you are aware that the United States Congress continues to diligently I can't even say it today. Negotiate the fiscal year 2026 federal appropriations authorization. To date, the appropriations have not been passed, and if an agreement is not reached by 23:59 last night, September 30th, 2025, we will be required to implement an orderly shutdown of all non-accepted activities. As soldiers, we continue to report to our normal duty day. Based off the Department of Army guidance, the leadership of our team formulated a detailed list of Department of Army civilian positions that will be exempt or in support of expected activities, and those that will be required to be in furlough status. Your leadership will notify you of your individual positions. Now, I fall up under support of accepted activities. That's what I fall up under here. One of my employees, he fell up under the furlough status, so he had to go home today. And as far as accepted status, how I am, I'm working, but I'm not getting paid. The furlough status is you aren't working and you aren't getting paid, so you're at home. Now, the only issue about the furlough status with Trump doing potential cuts, which are illegal, you can't fire people during the shutdown. He would be one of the people to go, unfortunately. But I was telling him today, don't think about it like that, man. I mean, we're not getting paid either. But you just at the house and we had to come into work. Golly. All right. So for the soldiers of the Department of the Army and the civilians that are exempt or expected, you will be required to work, and our pay will be deferred until appropriation is authorized. For the furlough team members, once officially notified, will not report to work nor conduct work off the clock. And after lapse ends, you will be entitled to receive your standard rate of pay. So they'll get the back pay also. But this right here is important. They can't come into the office. They can't contact any of us. They can't do any work off the clock. If they do any of that, once the government freeze is lifted, they will be terminated if someone was to do an investigation. So they can't contact us. They'll be contacted directly from higher leadership, but they can't come into work. They can't answer any phone calls or talk. Well, they can talk about whoever calls them, but they can't call in and ask us anything of that nature. We're not allowed to talk to them either, as far as work related activities. I would like to share that all foreign national team members were provided an exemption as part of the planning guidance, which requires them to continue to report to work with compensation. So the foreign nationals are like any Germans or any citizen of Germany that works on a federal base or federal building that's American. They're exempt, so they don't fall up under the shutdown. They go to work, they continue to get paid, they have their own pot of money. So you have the exempt, and then you have the expected. So I'm under the expected. I didn't fall up under the exempt. A couple of years ago, my job did fall up under there, but I wasn't working there at that time. All members of the team will continue to report to work until we are officially notified via operations order. We are an orders-based organization, and we do not adjust our operations status and plans based solely on media reports. So again, even if they say the shutdown is over, unless we get notification, it's still going on for us. As your commander, I recognize the amazing contributions you bring to this team, and I want to ensure everyone on the team acknowledges the potential hardships this may bring. Depending on the length of the time of with this lap in appropriations, economic and emotional hardships may evolve. First off, we are in this together. Please have this conversation with your supervisor and leadership if you need anything or we need to better understand the specifics of your situation. There are services available to you depending on your individual needs. We will help you coordinate that support, whether it's from the Army Community Service Financial Readiness Office, Army Emergency Relief, if eligible, military family life counselors, or chaplain team and other agencies. Please be there for each other. Check on your colleagues, family, and friends. We will come through this well. The Major General. Now, this general was off in D.C. for that meeting. But right now, it's just, we just go to work. So when we came into work today, it was like no one knew what was going on. My job, I'm in there before we open up before anyone else on the base pretty much. So when I'm there, no one's there. It's dark as hell because the sun don't come up till about 8 o'clock now. And we just sitting around. We don't have any guidance. This email didn't come out to us till maybe 10 o'clock our time. So again, the furlough employees were supposed to work 4 hours, 7 or 8 to 11, 8 to 12. And then they were supposed to go home. But we didn't get this notification until 10 in the morning. And then they didn't give us the list of who was on which status until around 2:30, 3 o'clock. So legally, they're supposed to only do 4 hours, but we were behind and no one plans on this. So that's where it is right now. And that's how it is, at least on my base. I'm not sure how it is on the bigger bases, like Ramstein. I'm on an Army base. I'm sure the Air Force still has this type of information because this is user. Yeah, this is the user Air Force. And then this is the Eurocom and AFRICOM. So the commander over all of this, they're pretty much all together. And if NATO is on here too. So we got the NATO base over at Ramstein, which is the biggest Air Force base, but it's not really a NATO base. NATO meets over there. But that's where we're at. So I'm just waiting to find out. And I'm not getting paid, guys. So not getting paid, man. We're going to figure that out, I guess, as it comes along. But again, like we can't talk to them. They can't contact me or ask me, hey, what about this? Can we take leave? Oh, but speaking of leave, no leave is authorized. So I can't take any leave during this shutdown. You're required to work. The furlough employees had to sign off on a piece of paper saying that they acknowledge the furlough and that they can't legally talk to anyone at work about work or do any work. What else? We can't take leave. If you're sick, you're just sick, go home. Other than that, it's just strict orders. We're just at work. That's what we're doing. Like I said, next weekend, I was supposed to go to Turkey. I was going to try to take a half day on Friday, but now I'm not. If I go, I won't get to Turkey till late Friday night, unless the shutdown is over with. So we'll see. We're just waiting to find out. We know that Trump is he's stuck in his ways, so it's going to be a minute before the Republicans come to the table. Once their districts start hurting and there's no medical, it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Again, this is for the budget for 2026. We're still extending this budget from 24 going into 25. They just kept kicking it on down the road with the CRs to continue resolutions. And that's what they're trying to do again. But I don't think that's not going to happen. We're just going to be shut down till this goes through. It's going to take some sense, and it's going to take some of the Republican senators, the representatives, to talk to their constituents. And once they start complaining, hey man, this is tough. We can't survive. You know, we ain't getting food. We're not getting any medical care. It's going to get ugly. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. It's going to get ugly. The thing is, what a lot of people they fail to realize is when we hear all these people getting kicked off of the Medicaid and Obamacare, most of these people, we're fortunate enough. Like, I'm not knocking anybody's financial status. Like when I'm in America, I got free health care through the VA. While I'm over here, I have to buy international insurance. But there's people that can't afford that. They can't afford to go to work, pay their living expenses in this high ass economy, and then pay the insurance on top of that, pay for that health care. So that's what these programs are put there for. And I know a lot of people say, I don't know anybody using Medicaid. I don't know anyone using Medicare. You have to look at that as you're in a blessed situation that you don't need that. You can afford your health care. Now, I'm not saying that people that can't afford health care aren't blessed or anything. It's just their struggle is different than your struggle. But you can't knock somebody. Like, healthcare should generally be free. If you get injured over here in Germany, I can go to the German hospital on my own and be seen if it's an emergency. And I'd leave the emergency room scot-free. That nothing happens. So it's just, I don't know. The shutdown is really always about money because it's over the budget, but there's such a gap in between economic statuses that the Republicans that aren't rich, the regular folk, the common folk in these rural areas, the ones who are going to be affected the most, they believe that they're part of this rich society. You're not. They're cutting everything for you and making you believe that they're doing it for your benefit. Well, that's where we are on the shutdown. We'll go on to another topic as far as this. I just wanted to read what was going on over here so you guys can understand. I ain't getting paid. I ain't getting paid at all. But that's that, man. So we're gonna move over there. All right, so we got that up out of there. So what I want to do next. All right. All right, what I want to do next is like a little low-key deep dive, and that'll probably be the last thing because it's already 9:00. You know, with the shutdown, I'm getting to work a little bit earlier. Oh, yes, right away. I showed up to work a little bit earlier, 15 minutes earlier. I'm in the desk like, okay, what do we got today? But all right, so we're gonna do kind of a deep dive, but it's not gonna really be too big of a deep dive. Pause on it. I wanted to talk about Governor Gavin Newsom, but I think I'm gonna do that in a smaller video. And I just want to talk about this Argentina. We'll do a little deep dive on that. All right, so Argentina. If you guys know anything about Argentina, let me know. What? Good old Argentina. Now, Argentina is a South American country. south of Brazil, Uruguay, next to Chile. Argentina is covering most of the southern portion of the continent, the world's 8th largest country. Argentina occupies more area, more extensive than Mexico and the United States of Texas. Let's see what the GDP is of Argentina. GDP. $633 billion. Now, it's nowhere near us, but $633 billion. All right. Who is the president? Mr. Millie. Now, watch this. If you don't remember the president of Argentina, he was with Elon Musk at the CPAC with the chainsaw. So we have Elon Musk here, back when him and Trump are on better terms.
President Milei has a gift for me.
And he's bringing out none other than President Milei of Argentina. Now, we're going to follow this, and it's going to get, how can I say? America's going to get played. Now, this president has bankrupt Argentina. And what is he on stage doing? The exact same thing that America is doing. Now, remember the whole Doge, the fake ass government agency that was never a government agency, and they were cutting everybody? Well, they were doing that down in Argentina. Also, there was a crypto scam down there where it's roughly $250 million that the president put together, and it was a rug pull, allegedly.
President Milei has a gift for me.
Javier Milei from Argentina. You guys know who that is, right?
And here he is. We have our federal cuts here in the United States. They want to cut the government. All right, let's follow this though. Okay. Now, if you've been following my channel, what's up, Nakeem? If you've been following my channel prior to Donald Trump getting elected, I made multiple videos talking about how farmers are going to be affected, how we're going to be affected, and exactly what I was going over. I have maybe 10 to 12 videos talking about the farmers, and we're exactly there. Now, before we get into the farmers, because there's a backdoor play going on at the expense of your tax dollars. Believe it or not, your tax dollars, yes, yours and mine and yours, your tax dollars are going in play right now, backdooring your own country. It's crazy, but believe me, it's happening right now, and no one's talking about it. So what we're going to do is, the conservatives, none of the conservatives knew who President Javier Milei was until he came on stage. Argentina's president faces impeachment calls over crypto crash. This is back in February. What is Donald Trump Jr. doing? They got like crypto ABC. They're trying to do the same thing. Donald Trump Jr. was just on Fox yesterday or the day before talking about, crypto is going to be the next big thing. He tried this down in Argentina, but just like the rug pulls that Donald Trump and his family, who made over $3 billion since the time they've been in office off of crypto and all kinds of other grifting bullshit, this is what they did down in Argentina, but it went unchecked down there. And now the country of Argentina was facing bankruptcy. But let's go ahead and get into this, and then we'll talk about the bankruptcy, which led to Yo Money authorizing a backdoor deal that is going to hurt all of us in the long run. Argentina president faces impeachment calls over crypto crash. The president Javier is facing impeachment calls and legal action. This is back in February. I'm going to try to find something more updated, but this is just going to give us an overview. Accusing him of fraud over his promotion of cryptocurrency on social media. Javier posted on X, formerly Twitter, about $Libra coin on Friday, which he said will help fund small businesses and startups. So what he was going to do was take government money, put it in this bullshit fake crypto, shoot it up, and when they sell the money, use the money to help the businesses. We know that's not going to happen. The money shot up. Where'd the money go? The money shot up. They cashed out. Where'd the money go? Where'd the money go? He shared a link to buy, causing the price to shoot up. When the president, that means everyone's looking at this. The president says buy something, just like President Trump did when he was saying buy some stuff, and the stock shot up over the summer. Yeah. He shared a link causing the price to shoot up, but within a few hours, he deleted the post and the cryptocurrency nosedive. That's what you call a rug pull. Everyone, you know, the insiders, they buy in for the lowest possible. Most of the time, they're not even buying in. They just get a certain amount of shares. Boom, they get those. They send it to you. That's why you had a whole bunch of influencers, Kim Kardashian, Floyd Mayweather. They all got sued for their cryptocurrency scams that they were into. The price shoots up. They pull everything from up under it. They take the money in, and all the money you put in, because you weren't one of the first people, you bought in when it was high. Well, it dropped down. You lose everything. So all the money is gone. I'm trying to see where the money is. So this was early in February. Let me see if there's a investors. Yeah. So he pulled out $250 million. Boom. $250 million gone. There's no answer for it. No one knows where it is. Argentina entered a new financial crisis in September 2025, last month, triggering a flight of investor confidence and currency slide. To stave off potential default, here we go. The Argentina bailout is all about propping up a Trump ally. September 25th, 2025. Here we go. The Trump administration is negotiating a financial lifeline for Argentina, seeking to stabilize its currency and prevent border economic fallout. Now, this is no different than Trump partnering up with all these other countries that we would never typically deal with, because he wants to deport people down there. And if he can, it's a whole bunch of stuff, because I mean, there's issues with Brazil president just got arrested and charged with 20 years. Trump puts like 100% tariffs on them, because Trump really isn't a power guy. All he does is try to use leverage on people, basically blackmail you. And America is pay to play at this point. But such an extraordinary intervention might seem like an odd choice for the Trump administration, who America's first agenda calls for more hands-on approach to foreign affairs. But it starts to make some sense ideologically, at least when you view it from the effort of a global MAGA lens. It's one wealthy far-right leader helping out a like-minded loyal pal. Here's the deal. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, I'm going to show you all of this. The media isn't, I don't know why the media isn't talking about this. I would have this front page. Scott Bessent said Wednesday that the United States of America will extend $20 billion swap line, exchanging US dollars for pesos to help stabilize Argentina's financial markets and potentially scoop up Argentine government debt. We're trying to pay off the $37 trillion of debt we have, but we're picking up the debt for a whole nother fucking country that we have nothing to do with by giving them $20 billion when all we're asking for is the $50 billion for healthcare in our own country. But we'll send $20 billion to a country we don't even fucking deal with. Now, Argentina, the backdoor deal is going to come together. And all of this is off the back of our tax dollars while they're holding the American government fucking hostage. So we're sending $20 billion down to Argentina, picking up their debt. So not only are we buying up $20 billion worth of pesos from them, we're going to pick up their debt also. Why? There's an economy answer and geopolitics answers, which are obviously related, but let's start with the econ basics. Investors began selling off assets as they watched the president's party absolutely trounce in the local election earlier this month. The vote suggested a lot of people aren't happy with Javier's free market overhauls and suggested he could lose more political support in a bigger congressional election next month. Argentina's economy has been hobbling from one crisis to another for decades. They've never been stable. There was a stabilization period in 2024, but that never happened because as soon as they were trying to get there, this crypto shit happened. They took the government money, put it in this crypto rug pool. Now we don't know what the $250 million is. But he took office in 2023, a hardline libertarian, known for welding a chainsaw at the campaign events because he's supposed to be cutting the government. So all this extra money would be freed up. And in America, that extra money going to the billionaires, not to the people. His radical economic shot therapy has some success. Monthly inflation has fallen around 2% from 25%. For instance, the annual rate of highest was above 30. But he has battered the economy elsewhere. Per the Wall Street Journal, the economy is contracting. Tens of thousands of jobs lost during Javier's tough drive have yet to come back. So they're losing tens of thousands of jobs. You know what just happened? You know what just happened in September? When I tell you this spider web goes everywhere. Hey, DeMarcus, thank you for that $1,000. This is why I wanted to do this live because I've been piecing this together, but I haven't actually went into multiple articles. So everything I'm doing is, I like to do all my stuff off the top of the head. I like to just go ahead and do it. Trump's controversial nominee drops bid to head vital data gathering agency. You remember back in August, they fired the lady from the BLS who said that the jobs, they weren't doing good. Well, guess what? The guy that Trump just hired, they just fired his ass because there's supposed to be projected 55,000 jobs. No, it was 3,000 jobs less. So the numbers were right when the lady was in there. The numbers were right when this guy was in here. You can't do anything. The numbers aren't going to lie unless you're cooking them. Well, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they fired him. President Trump's nominee has withdrawn with widespread criticism that he was too partisan and inexperienced to hold such a role. EJ was already fired by Donald Trump. Why? Because again, Trump didn't like the numbers. There are no jobs being created up under Donald Trump because he's firing everybody and the economy's all kinds of fucked up. Now, this I was going to do a whole nother thing on it, but it ties into it. And the reason it ties into it is because the same thing Argentina is doing, Donald Trump is doing it, but with trillions of dollars. And we're reading this like, oh, damn, Argentina is just another country that's going up under. It's different when it's our country. So thousands of jobs were lost during his tough drive, and they haven't yet to come back. Clothing stores have shut their doors. Pensioners and teachers say they can't make ends meet. Financial markets are best by growing turmoil. And here we go with the chainsaw, the same thing that Elon Musk was doing, the same thing that Doge was doing, cutting the money. But they wasn't cutting any money because they spent more money than the Biden administration did last year at the same point. His administration is also engulfed in corruption scandals. Well, let's keep going. The White House backs border czar after reports he accepted cash during undercover FBI probes last year. September 2024, he accepted, what's his name, Tom Homan? Tom Homan accepted $50,000 from undercover FBI agents who were approaching him as business owners, and he guaranteed them if Trump won the election, they give him $50,000, he'll give them contracts. So Argentina in America right now, they looking pretty eye to eye. You know, when you growing up and they tell you to stand next to your cousin and they measure the shoulders, right now, Argentina's shoulder's a little bit lower. You know what I mean? But it ain't too far from the shoulder of America. Because everything we're reading is exactly what's going on here in America. His administration is also engulfed in corruption scandals. Earlier this year, lawyers accused him of engaging in a crypto scam known as a rug pull. And more recently, his sister, a key player in his administration, was accused of taking kickbacks from pharmaceutical contracts. The government has denied involvement in both alleged schemes, but that's done little to shore up investors' confidence. Now watch this. Damn, what is it? Is it Hexaf? No, not Pete Hexaf. Watch this. Javier's sister, a key player in the administration, was accused of taking kickbacks from pharmaceutical contracts. Listen to this. Listen to this. Watch this shit.
Was taking money from the pharmaceutical industry.
Listen to this.
So I think they gave you $100 million, but he can't be bought. Unlike President Trump was taking money from the pharmaceutical industry too. I think they gave you $100 million, but he can't be bought. Unlike President Trump was taking money from the pharmaceutical industry too. I think they gave you $100 million, but he can't be bought.
President Trump was taking money from the pharmaceutical companies also. They gave him $100 million, and Trump said, yep. And then he goes on to say that he can't be bought. It's right there in our face every single time. It's right there. Argentina, America. They shoulder and shoulder right now, and that's why Trump is bailing them out. Last week, financial panic escalated. The party's poor showing in local election. Argentina's central bank spent more than $1 billion of its foreign currency reserves to keep the peso from collapsing. The currency, along with the Argentine stocks and bonds, began rebounding Monday after Scott Bessent began to talk about a financial life raft. Now, the $20 billion hasn't went out, But listen to this. In the crisis, has a powerful phone a friend in President Donald Trump, who praised the self-styled capitalist and endorsed the re-election at the United Nations this week. To the people of Argentina, we're backing him 100%, Donald Trump said. Now, let's go ahead and get into the back door. Now, if you know about America farmers soybeans. All right. For American soybean farmers, the 2025 harvest season is marked by significant economic pressure caused by low prices, high costs, collapse of exports in China. In response, the industry is increasingly focused on domestic crushing to serve biofuel markets. Now, how much? All right, let me ask you guys this question. What on a scale of 0 to 100, how much? Why y'all ain't telling me I have my glasses on crooked, like looking like damn blank man? J5. On a scale of 1 to 100, what do you think is the amount of soybeans that China has bought from American farmers this year? On a scale from 0 to 100, what do you think is the amount of soybeans that China has bought from America this year? Nakima is right. Nakima is right. According to farm.daily at illinois.com or .edu, China has bought 0 soybeans from the United States of America this year. And why is that? U.S. soybean harvest starts with no sign of Chinese buying as Brazil sets export record. China says since America is putting all of these tariffs on them, they're not buying any soybeans. Now let's talk about the back door. Let's talk about the back door. China isn't buying soybeans from America. The farmers.
A sharp decline in soybean exports and a leaked text message to a top official in the Trump administration, raising new questions about how American farmers are being impacted by the ongoing trade war with China. Tension high and livelihoods on the line. ABC's Morgan Norwood takes a closer look at the growing concern in the heartland.
With the crisis looming for hundreds of thousands of American soybean farmers, a text message to a cabinet secretary appears to show concern within the Trump administration.
China has not bought a single export cargo of beans so far this year, which is not very typical.
Soybeans are the largest American export to China in terms of value, the country purchasing $12.6 billion worth last year. But in retaliation for new tariffs, China has now stopped buying, dropping those sales to 0. American farmers feeling the pain.
When China quits buying, our prices go down.
Now, this photo taken by the Associated Press at the UN last week is amplifying concern. It appears.
Now, this is a text message to Scott Bessent, who we just seen. Where is it at? We just seen up here where he was the one that was talking about we're going to do a bailout for him.
Here's to show a text message to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent from BR, widely considered to be Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins. The message reads, "We bailed out Argentina yesterday, and in return, the Argentines removed their export tariffs on grains, reducing their price, and sold a bunch of soybeans to China at a time when we would normally be selling to China."
And the back door is complete. Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, who in cahoots with Donald Trump, agreed to give Argentina $20 billion to bail them out. China said, we're not buying from America. So what does China do? They go to Argentina and say, hey, we'll buy from you. And what does Argentina do? In order to make more money, they say 0 tariffs. You can buy as much as you want from us. So the $20 billion we got and we sent down to Argentina, they backdoored us and went to China and told China, you can buy the soybeans from us. Fuck America. They gave us $20 billion. And this is a text message to the Secretary of Treasury. And somebody behind them took a fucking picture of this where it's telling him China has all the leverage. China has been going to every single country that America has placed tariffs on, and they've been brokering deals with them. You remember the whole Panama shenanigans shit? Remember Trump, oh, we're going to take Panama back? But again, they call him Taco. Trump always chickens out. They backed his ass up, and he couldn't do a motherfucking thing because in 2018, 2019, there was a deal for Panama, and he didn't extend the deal that America had with Panama, and China came in and said, fuck it, we'll go ahead and give you the money for it. So now China has the most ships going through Panama because they paid for it when Trump didn't want to do it. So the back door, it ain't even a back door. We just have an incompetent fool in charge that thinks he knows business. This is simple shit here that I can piece together. There's no reason these fuckers that are working for this dude, they get all this education and they just throw this shit out the window to be fucking completely stupid. So we're potentially about to give $20 billion to them only for them to go to China and tell China, buy the soybeans from us. You ain't buying it from America. You can get it for the low. Plus, we spent $1 billion to try to level out our currency, but they just gave us $20 billion. Well, the $20 billion hasn't went through yet, but this is where we're at. This is where we're at. So not only is Trump trying to emulate what all these other countries are doing, they're playing them. Every single country is playing them. And don't let me get on Qatar on what they doing right now. We just promised Qatar NATO support, NATO type security. After they gave him that damn plane that he's about to run up on us because we already got 2 new planes being made. But now we got to outfit his plane for him to give it to his damn Trump charity or whatever the fuck that bullshit is. Dog, we getting played. We getting played, man.
The message refers to a potential $20 billion aid package from the Trump administration to help stabilize Argentina's economy. But after that aid package was announced, Argentina suspended its soybean export tax and immediately sold shiploads of soybeans to China, another blow to U.S. farmers. In the message sent to Besson, BR says, this gives China more leverage on us.
So we're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape.
President Trump has suggested some money raised by tariffs could be used to help struggling farmers, and the Agriculture Secretary says the administration is working on a farmer aid package.
Rowland does not confirm whether those text messages were indeed from her. Morgan Norwood, ABC News.
And that's just the beginning, guys. Because now that we got backdoored by Argentina to China, which, yeah, we aren't allies with China, but the thing, all right, my name is Mo. My bachelor's began in international trade. So the free trade, the free market is how the world works. The barter system, that's how it started off. You give me a cow, I give you some corn. We aren't cool with China. We're cordial. We need China. But now they're getting their soybeans from elsewhere. Now, Trump is talking about your tax dollars. Hear me out. Watch how you're going to get taxed on top of your tax. All right. So Trump is talking about bailing out the farmers, which is only getting worse because as soon as they announced $20 billion going to Argentina, Argentina told China, hey, China, guess what? Buy from us. We have no export tariffs. Donald Trump is talking about the tariffs, the taxes that you're paying right now on all of your food and products that you need. He's talking about giving a bailout package to the farmers. Now, listen to this. If you give money, the tariff money that's came in that you pay the farmers the tariffs money. Food is already expensive. What did he just say? If they aren't exporting anything, the price goes down. If you bail them out with the tax money that you paid, you're giving them money. They're going to raise the price of their product. There's still going to be tariffs on everything that's coming in. The price is already higher. So now, instead of you paying here, that bailout from the tariffs that you already paying, here's the original price. Here's the price with the tariffs. Here's the price with the bailout. Here's the price with the tariffs that are on top of the new bailout price. So we just went from paying here to bailing the farmers out with the tax money that we already got, which raises their price that's already high and puts a new tariff on top of what it already was. So you go from paying here to paying here with the fucking bailout for the farmers. And all of this started because of tariffs that shouldn't have been implemented. Yeah, tariffs are good, but you don't put 100%, 50%, 40%. You don't go over like 10% unless you just not fucking with that country. But now, and then this is where the inflation is going to come from. Because remember, we started here. The tariffs put us here. Then the prices went down. But now the tariffs are making us pay here. Now, if we bail them out, that means they raise their prices. That means the tariff that we were paying initially is going to be higher than what it was. And now we all the way up here paying this shit. It's a never-ending cycle. Now, what we don't want is stagflation. Thanks, Kid Gravity, for becoming a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What we don't want is stagflation. And all of this stemmed from me just talking about Argentina. But what we don't want is stagflation. Stagflation, I don't think it will happen for us. We'll probably just get inflation. Let me see if I can get y'all an easy video. Because unemployment is at the highest. Well, we'll just see what he says on his. Let me see.
The scariest word in the economy could be back, and that is stagflation. What exactly is it? Why is it so frightening? And how could Trump be causing it? It is a combination of two words. That's right, we are doing an economics course and an English course as well. And we'll look at the first part, which is stag, and that is short for stagnant. The other part is inflation, and that is short for inflation. However, stagflation is not the same as inflation. Stagflation is when there is high inflation, slow or stagnant GDP growth, and high unemployment. Now you take all those arrows together, and what do you get? You get a frown face. It's not good for the economy. And the reason why this is so frightening is that it could last longer than inflation, and it's harder to get out of. The Fed traditionally will try to fix one of these areas in hopes that the others will follow suit, but sometimes there can be an unintentional snowball effect. Let me explain to you what I mean. So let's take the issue of inflation. Now, typically, to slow that down, the Fed will increase interest rates, but because...
What did he say? To slow stagflation down, you got to increase interest rates. What did we just do? 0.25%? Drop the inflation rate. I mean, not the inflation, but the interest rate. Trump keeps begging, oh, we need to drop the interest rate. Dude, we don't have any economic growth. You fucking fired everybody. Unemployment is at the highest since the pandemic. What are you talking about? Lower the interest rate. You're going to fuck the economy up, man.
Because of increasing interest rates, that means the cost of borrowing money is going up as well. As a result of that, companies and businesses are going to look to cut expenses, and that means they're not going to be hiring people, so the unemployment rate is going to stay high. You see, this becomes a cycle, and it's kind of hard to get out of. Stagflation has hit the U.S. before in the 1970s and 80s, and it was during the oil crisis, which caused oil prices to skyrocket. But what about today? Well, Trump is fueling fears of stagnation because of his favorite word, which is tariffs. A tariff is also known as a supply shock. Now, that is an event that will dramatically increase or decrease the amount of a good. Now, the tariffs that we have imposed on Canada, Mexico, and China will increase the cost of raw materials, which could also lead to stagflation. Now, even though some of those tariffs have been temporarily paused, it just really causes instability in the market. Outside the rise of prices, hiring has slowed down to its smallest level gains since July 2024, according to a report from ADP last month in February.
All right, well, this is back in March, but hey, let me just ask y'all real quick, because we haven't done any lives in a while. I know sometimes I can go off the, saying y'all off rambling. Y'all got, you like when I try to connect the dots to everything? Y'all ain't know I was going to swing that tariffs over there and take us into stagflation, which wrapped us right back around the tariffs, did y'all? Y'all like how I'm just doing like a little deep dive? I ain't gonna lie to you. I love watching TV shows and breaking down episodes, but this is more of what I really enjoy doing. This is what I do on my free time. I should have been a professor. All right, so we got stagflation. The farmers, they need a bailout. Argentina pulled a back door on us. China is over here buying up everything. It's a crazy time, man. It's a crazy time in America. So there's not like a set number, because the stock market is doing well. It's about where we were at the beginning of the year, but we can't. Another thing, when you go, you'll hear Trump talk about like the stock market, always like the record highs and stuff. But the way I look at it is, if I have $100 and you take $50 from me and knock me down to $50, if I go up to $75, I'm not winning. I'm still down $25. You see what I'm saying? If I'm at 100 and you implement tariffs and everything that drops me to 50, just because I go up to 75 doesn't mean, oh man, you see that? The stock market is doing good. No, we're still down from where we were, because there was no reason to fuck us over in the beginning when we were already at the peak. You see what I'm saying? So now we're finally getting back to where we were. Like I told you guys earlier in the year, man, shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. I lost about 50 bands. Now, I made most of it back in the market, but yeah, I was fucked up in the game. I mean, I wasn't going to cash out anyway, but yeah. It is what it is, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If y'all got anything, I got a little bit of free time. We got probably about 30 minutes of free time. Yeah, if y'all got anything, we'll do a little talking about that. Go from there. But yeah, there isn't a set number that we got to reach to actually get there. It'll just trigger. It's just overnight something to happen. Boom. What I've been watching lately, though, is the Lehman Brothers and how they actually collapsed during the financial crisis of 2008, 2009. They were on top of the game, but they were extended too far and it ended up crumbling down. Oh yeah, the Democrats did it. The Democrats did this. The Democrats want free health care for illegal immigrants, which is causing the unemployment rate, because we got ICE patrolling the streets. We got ICE patrolling the streets. They allotted $40 billion to ICE. So all those black jobs are wide open. Those jobs are wide open, but it says the unemployment rate is 4.3% for August of 2025, with only 22,000 jobs added. Up under President Obama, 84 months straight, Obama was creating jobs. Up under Joe Biden, he created 1.2 million jobs before he got up out of there. But it seems like we're losing jobs every month now. The U.S. economy lost 32,000 private sector jobs in September. Private payrolls plunged in September. The BLS is unlikely to release the monthly job reports that's due on Friday due to the closure. That's good for Trump. The black jobs, Nikema, you don't know about those black jobs? Torian, tell Nikema about those black jobs that are out there. Girl, go get you one of them. Nikema, go get you one of them black jobs, girl. You over here playing all them black jobs out there. Go get you one of those. Go get you one of those black jobs. Shoot, you over here talking about what jobs? Girl, all them jobs out there. Listen to this. You want one of those black jobs?
I just want to hear you clearly. You're saying the people who have been here for years and who have been even paying taxes, you're going to look at them very differently, and maybe they belong here in the workforce?
I want to work with them, and in some cases, we're sending them back to their country with a pass back in legally, and we're doing things that are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to hear you.
What the So to sum up what Trump is saying, inner city niggas ain't doing the field jobs. We tried it before. Talking about slavery that they're trying to remove from all the museums. He said white people tried to be out in the field. It didn't work. But the Hispanics, send them back to their country, have them come in on the new little program and put them in the field. And the reason they'll be in the field is because they can naturally do it and they won't break their back, because if they break their back or mess up their back in the field, they'll die. So basically, Donald Trump doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And he's saying that he's admitting that, I know people, we don't want illegals in the country, but they're doing the job that you're not going to do. It's unfortunate, but they're doing a job you're not going to do. I'm not getting in no field. I'm sorry. That's just not my expertise. I'm not into hospitality, but I respect them because my mom used to do that. She used to clean up hotels when she was younger. So that's why I always, hey man, at least pull the covers on the bed, put all your trash in one trash can. Don't leave your hotel rooms messed up. Make sure all the towels and stuff are up under the sink in one area. But yeah, man, we're not doing those jobs, man. But this is an idiot, man. This is a dummy. This is a dummy. Yeah, no one's taking it. People aren't taking jobs right now for minimum wage. You think they're about to go in the field for $5 a day? $10? We'll give you $100 for 3-4 days? No one's doing that. The illegals do it and they'll do it and they won't complain. They'll go home and come back and do it the next day. And they'll send that money back home. But I don't know, man. I'm just a guy from Kansas City, Missouri, man. I'm just trying to figure it out. Trying to go play in the Gulf of America one day. What did I want? Oh, I did want to talk about Gavin Newsom, but I think I'm gonna do a video on that on his own. Yeah, what is it? All right, now, yeah, we got like 20 minutes, man. If y'all got anything, man, you just put it in the chat and we'll look it up and we'll just do it on the spot. Oh boy, seeing here. So the same guy The comedian dude, you know, the guy that said, what did he say? Lethal injection or decapitation? The dude on Fox, he just said some more wild shit. Fox host. Yeah, Brian Kilmeade, he did the lethal injection.
Billions of.
He did the lethal injection comment 2 weeks ago, September 15th. And then yesterday, he was talking about teenage kids, instead of going to school and playing sports, after school, get a job to go pay for food. What up, Miss J?
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right. I would say this: we're not voting for the right people. In North Carolina, wake up.
Lethal injection or just killed him. Then he made a bullshit ass.
Only said they should get lethal injection. I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy.
We apologize for that, Miss J. Thank you for being a member for 7 months, and thank you for the $20 super sticker. Hey, I am monetized on this channel, and I got great things coming from this channel. I got some documentaries I want to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. We've been putting in work for like 2 years on this channel to try to get it right, but we finally got there. Yeah. Thank you. But we got let me see. So then he just said, yeah, Brian meant that. Brian ain't fooling nobody. Yeah, I can't even find it. Let me see. Yeah, I can't find it. But basically, what he was saying, let me see. Instagram. Oh boy. PHEX. Oh, here we go.
There's a lot of parents who pay for goals. You score a goal, go win a game, pay for goals, incentives. I also think, too, in practical senses, I know a lot of people in high school that had to not play sports because they had to work to help for their family.
Yeah.
So if you were actually paying kids to study, they could actually be doing that. For other people, they just need an incentive. So I'm all for trying it, especially if you're, if you do have to make sure, if you want lunch money, you got to go get it. How great would it be to study for lunch money?
Well, I used to be against this type of stuff because my parents were so old school. I just thought that was the way to go. But in the long run, if it keeps kids out of the system,
It's not working.
right. So there you go.
Yeah.
So
Here's my school of thought. I think
You're expected as a child and as a teenager to go to school.
Students equals grades. That's true. Look.
What up, Delicious? So this fool's talking about high school kids stop playing sports. This is them justifying not giving free lunch in school. They telling the kids, oh, you didn't go get up and get it. 15 years old, 16 years old, don't do any after school activities. Don't get into any programs or nothing. Go get a job and work so you can eat. That's not what kids are supposed to do. Kids are supposed to be kids, go to school, get their education, and start to grow into the young adult that they're going to be. And then the black guy, this fucking coon, I don't even know this nigga, but this nigga always saying some off the wall shit, talking about, I used to think like that, but then I realized that the system didn't work, but it's supposed to keep him out the streets. And then this white bitch talking about, I shouldn't say that. This white lady talk about, well, obviously it's not working, talking about all the black people that are going to jail. That's what they're talking about. They're not talking about no white kids. They're talking about the black kids. Because when he said it's supposed to be designed, he knows it's designed to keep the kids out of the system, playing sports, after school activities. But he let the white lady go on here and say, yeah, it's not working. He's like, yeah. Dog, these motherfuckers, man, I tell you. Yeah, I just be looking at this shit like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it, man. I mean, I know they're getting paid, but you know, if you want to eat, you should get up and go work. Man, that's what the parents are doing. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I just be seeing all this shit, and I just be looking like, what the hell? And that's why when these people be apologizing and shit, man, fuck all that. I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing. I'm not gonna say no off the wall stuff like delete somebody, but come on, man. If they talking like this and being all reckless, man, you shit. Talk how you want to talk, man. The hell with them. Because as soon as you start making fun of them, they start playing the victim. What are they talking about us? Oh, come on, Democrats. You can't take a joke. We're just joking around. Yeah, man. Charlie Kirk said if his 10-year-old daughter was raped, he'd make her have the baby. Like, what kind of goofy shit is that? Oh, y'all ain't hear that?
Now watch this kid end up in the future become a president. How wild would that be?
We just had a podcast about inflation.
No, not that. Here we go. I think it's this one. Was he outside?
Baby.
What is it then?
It is an embryo.
What species is the baby in the womb?
It's a human, but
Therefore, they should have human rights.
No, I do not agree.
Oh, so small humans know.
To have a baby that would ruin my life if I just happened to be pregnant.
Oh, well, you don't happen to get pregnant. It's not like getting COVID.
I know how it
okay?
works.
You don't get the flu.
I know.
How about
but
this?
say
You
I got
take
pregnant.
responsibility for your orgasms and
What if
stop
that doesn't
eliminating
work?
people smaller than you.
So you're saying I should carry a baby and ruin my collegiate life?
How about this? Instead of saying ruin, first of all, babies are a blessing. Stop talking at them as if they're some sort of annoyance.
I will have to drop out of college.
Number two, you play certain games, you win in the practice of a baby. So know that. And guess what? You don't need to have beautiful children.
Wow, good for you.
I could tell you're not married.
Man, all that sucker did was debate fucking kids. Let me try to find it though. Hold on. No, because he really said if his 10-year-old daughter was raped, he would make her have the baby. Does anyone have a video? This link or photos being removed.
daughter and she was 10 and she got raped. And she was
Well,
going to
I-
give birth
I
and
do
she
have
would,
a
no,
daughter.
wait. Oh, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her
Well, that's
rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic. The answer
It's
to-
no, but it's a real life
Okay,
scenario
well,
that happens
calm
to
down.
many
The
people.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped and she was
Well,
going to
I-
give birth
I
and
do
she
have
would,
a
no,
daughter.
wait. Oh, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her
Well, that's
rapist
awfully
baby?
that's awfully graphic. The answer
It's
to-
no, but it's a real life
Okay,
scenario
well,
that happens
calm
to
down.
many
The
people.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
So if
Yeah, that's Charlie Kirk. Now watch this. Watch this shit. Y'all seen this one? Watch this one. This is how smart this guy was.
Heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being. This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin fetus.
So let me.
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being. This is a human being. This is how simple it is. But quite different. Dolphin. You just confirmed that a dolphin in life you confuse dolphins for human babies often.
So let me.
You
ask
go to
you a question.
SeaWorld and you're like, someone's got human babies in that aquarium. Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin fetus.
So let me.
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being. This is a human being. This is how simple it is.
Oh, and it got his goofy ass. R.I.P. All right, man. Let me get on out of here, man. 9:50. No, he wasn't smart. He dropped out of college. He dropped out of college. He tried to join the army. They told his ass no. I did a little research on the brother. Now, the rabbit hole for his wife. Do we got time? Do we have time? Do we have time? Erica Kirk? Did you know that Erica Kirk competed in Miss Universe USA that Donald Trump had? Did you know that Erica Kirk's mother she spent nearly 2 decades working at General Electric before founding multiple companies in the network security industry. Watch this stuff. Yeah. I'm not logging into my LinkedIn. So this is her mother here, Erica Kirk's mother, the chairman and founder of AZ Tech, G Tech, E3 Tech, master's degree, University of Cincinnati. Now, she also was dealing with Lockheed Martin, which makes missiles for the United States of America. This is actually Where's it at? Oh, so he did one. Let's see.
Kirk Israeli honeypot story just got way more sinister. After I started doing some more digging, I had to do a follow-up. But before we get into it, make sure you like this video, make sure you share this video, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you follow. So we're going to double back and talk about Erica Kirk's parents. There have been two consistent narratives put out there by her parents. One, we don't really know who her dad was, at least we didn't. And two, her mother raised her all by herself. Oh, and probably the most important one, her parents were divorced, and that's the reason why she supposedly moved to Scottsdale, Arizona from Ohio. Now, the reason that everyone thought that this was true was because of words that came out of Erica's mouth, because the media in many publications also pushed this narrative and went along with it without questioning Erica or her family. Erica's parents are named Lori and Kent Fronsfit. It is true that Erica's parents are divorced. It is also true that Erica and her mom, Lori, did move to Scottsdale, Arizona. But what is not true is that Lori and Erica moved to Scottsdale, Arizona because of the divorce. You see, by Erica's own words, her mom moved to Arizona not because of the divorce, but because of a business opportunity. Because of her past history with the DHS, it would be easier starting a business while working with the DHS in a place where she had connections.
How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here, especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry, even one that was a mentor of hers. So it was really convenient to be able to come all together in one place to really have that.
Now, once again, Erica mentions her mother over and over and over again. The media says that she was raised by her mother alone.
I mean, he going too slow. Pause. No. We'll do. So Erica Kirk, she went down to Arizona. She was in modeling, but then she went over to Romania. And then when she was in Romania, she had a nonprofit organization. She being from Romania, spreads like wildfire. You find the video that I had. Social media flooded with Erica alleged Trump Epstein connection. Online sleuths claim that she knew Donald Trump. Well, she was in Romania, but there's no confirmed thing saying that she's banned from Romania. But there was a child trafficking situation going on in Romania around the time that she was over there. And she had a little ministry there also. Like I said, there's nothing that says like she was actually connected to it. Nah, she's not Trump's kid, but she knew Trump. She knew Trump when she was back in modeling. If I find the clip, I'll post it in the Discord link, but I can't find it right now. I think I got it saved on Instagram. I gotta look on my phone though. But thank y'all for tuning in. You know, I appreciate you guys helping me reach 1,000 subscribers on this channel. We'll continue to do lives on here, and we might do some live breakdowns. I'm gonna get you guys to give me some topics, and then we'll just go through and run through them. We'll try to figure them out. And I'll continue to put up like YouTube shorts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I keep you guys updated if I lose my job or not. As of right now, I'm working without pay. I'm J. This is the More You Know. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'm out.